Thank you. So I see some new faces. I'm pretty smart. I'm like Schaumburg-Lippe. The family goes way back from Hamburg, Lübeck, and Kiel in Germany. My grandmother is Princess Theodora of Denmark, from the oldest royal house in Europe that goes back to 936. And our second king after King Gorm, 936, was the famous King Howard of Bluetooth, name giver to the technology, because he was a big pacifier, bringing people together, like Bluetooth, bringing our technology together. And in my family, we are very lucky, especially in my line. It was a very entrepreneurial royal house, always. My grandfather, he had mines, porcelain factory, grandfather had a bank, of course the land, the usual noble businesses, farms, dairies, but definitely very entrepreneurial. My father went right to those footsteps as a banker, as a book author, and then also as a creative, as a photographer and book author. And what I really like about the philosophy that was passed on also to me, to my generation, is we can recreate what we have, but don't mess it up. It needs to continue. That means we have all the freedom to manifest in whatever way, but we're not allowed to mess it up. And I love this freedom. Then I'll give you a little example from my childhood. My mother had this beautiful landmark building in Salzburg, Austria, where the sound of music layers our life around. It's gorgeous there, the Salzburg Festival, wonderful people. And we were living in this house, and 33 rooms, and it was literally interesting to live there, beautiful, but also in the heart of the city center, and very hard. And I literally asked my parents if there is a way to make something more out of this, because Airbnb has just started in the US and made the big buzz. Everybody can be their own hotelier. And so I started to restructure, and all of a sudden the children's bedrooms from former generations, when the families were bigger, I restructured that, and we started a wonderful hotel in downtown, and I started that, and then we put in a lounge, and the club, and the restaurant, and everything. And it was an interesting process for me to see we can maintain something that's traditional, keep this building, but make something new with it. So go into the future with it, be open for it. And this I leave it on all my life, because I always hear grandmother saying, only real estate is safe, only real estate is safe. But I'm like, okay, but all the investments are so fun, they're so great, and they're so quick, and they can make so much money. So I branch out in a way that I do very detailed due diligence. I'm a lawyer by trade. And when I invest a project, when I invest a company, I have invested in a company called Cherish Health, which is a home health monitor. And when I got into the world of this company, I just did extremely detailed due diligence. With the eyes of, I don't trust anything. And then I went step by step into this company, data. I'm a data-driven guy, and it worked out great, and the people involved with this are great. And so what I say is, when you see people where the chemistry is good, where the history of their career is good, where the energy is good, that you can trust, and I met a lot of those people here, I have to say, then it's worth taking the next step on, looking into the numbers, and escape your tradition, your conservatism in investing, and you can take it to the next step. And I've done well with doing those things in the media. I've produced my TV show for 11 years, which was a big success in Europe, and I have a caviar business, so I'm an entrepreneur through and through, and I always trust my gut instinct with people, and then I go into the data, and that way you can escape the golden cage of traditions. You can break out what you have always done and make it a new thing. And I feel that's the way to create and manifest and build up. And one other thing, when I hear the generations, the first builds, we just mentioned it's beautiful. We haven't done that. We haven't put anything in the sand for 1,000 years. There was never a catastrophe. And I hear a lot of people that have a catastrophe. And the catastrophe, when I ask them, why was this one project tanking? They say, well, I had a little bit of a bad feeling, but I went through. And I tell you, if you listen to your instinct, to your gut, all of you, you're fabulous, phenomenal entrepreneurs, and you're smart. If you listen to your instinct, you're not going to fail, and you're going to do the same thing. And in 1,000 years, people will say, my great-great-great-great-grandfather started to listen to his gut instinct, and you know what?
Or grandmother.
And my great-great-great-great-great-grandmother, who actually is the one. Yeah, that's very true. One thing to this, I need to click into that. So that's father's side. My mother's side, very interesting enough, my mother is a full-through career woman. She studied law, and she had a veterinary clinic. She was an elected politician, being a princess, fabulous career, Princess Antonia. Now she's a filmmaker, and I come from a line of very strong women. My grandmother, the Danish princess, and these strong women, if we are so blessed to have one of those in our family history, and I know a lot of you do because I hear a lot of stories where you came from, this is a blessing, and this makes us love to work with women. And I feel women are the hardest workers in the industry, in the finance industry, in the entertainment industry, where I'm too. And the instinct of a woman makes women less fail. Whenever there is a big catastrophe, it's usually more men involved than women, because women have this talent in them to listen to their instinct. And by the way, when I do my due diligence, I always ask a girl, a lady, a woman, a female, to give me her insight on it, because I know there is some special radar built into the ladies that just know best. So very good that you mentioned the grandmothers and the great-grandmothers, because they lead that in a great way. Yes, thank you. And so that's kind of the way how we navigate in my family, and we've been very successful doing so. And there are some enormous, fabulous entrepreneurs here. I can't wait to talk more, and then we do business together, publicity together. That's a thing we also do. I write a wonderful column at Suzanne's paper, the Chronicles, Times for Chronicles, reaching 2 million people. And I want everybody to get the story out, because that's the way that many people know and invest and trust. So this public validation in nowadays, with all the fake news and stupid stories, that's extremely important. Every one of you needs to have a trusted journalist, a trusted contact in the media and PR. That's the same important as your data, as your business itself. The outside world needs to know how legit it is, how solid it is, and how much money they can make being in your hemisphere, being on your table, being in your company. Yeah, so I feel it's the greatest thing to be in this beautiful country. I love America. I love our two hosts. They are some of the most fascinating people in the world to me. Andrea, who was working like an Energizer bunny yesterday, all day long hosting in such a level. The new Oprah, you know, Oprah is, they know Andrea, she's the best host and needs a big TV show doing so. And of course, Matt Rockefeller, who had the most important and most interesting insight and has been working for us here. And I feel they always deserve a big applause, because I just love them and what they did for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.